Hi, this is Matt Bianca, and welcome to the Sutra Pills podcast. This is the place to listen to some teachings from original Buddhist sutras. A sutra a day keeps the dukkha away. In today's episode, we talk about one maybe of the most important sutra, or probably the most important sutra in Buddhism. It's called, with a familiar name in Pali, it's called Satipatthana Sutra, but of course, as you probably know now after many episodes, I prefer to use Sanskrit, so Pratiya Samutpada Sutra. So Pratiya is addiction or dependence, and Samutpada is arise, origin, where Pada it's also like means food, but it means something that starts from the bottom, basically like our food. And you can find in Samyutta Nikaya 12.2. So let's do a bit of premises. All things in the phenomenal world are subject to impermanence, and then probably we know, included that which appears to be the self, so ourselves. Everything in the phenomenal world arises and vanishes within this phenomenal world. Nothing is permanent and nothing arises from it. Siddhartha avoided any attempt to define the self. He simply stated that a misconception, rooted in ignorance, creates a self. Relying on precepts and practices does nothing but affirm and preserve a self, involved in ideological and ritualistic practices, making them reasonable. If you are involved in doctrines, teachers, or rituals that arise from an attachment to self, you should identify and abandon them. This is not Buddhism. The sutra, in addition to explain conditioning production, and again I use another term, I do like dependent origination for the first time in this sutra, emphasize that there is a doctrine of interdependence or interconnection. In this sutra, Gautama explains how the 12 causal links, that we explain in the next episode, are connected to each other. He also explained their link backwards. It is contrary to the development of practices that validate only positive or commonly accepted feelings. One of the mistakes, let's call them misinterpretations, of the various schools of Buddhist tradition is try to use the Dharma to fix an imperfect self. There is nothing to fix. Since everything is impermanent, one must recognize it as such and let it go. How you can fix something that keeps changing? Crazy. Going into details, in the sutra there is an exhaustive definition of each link. 6 classes of desire: sounds, smell, taste, physical and non-physical sensation, ideas, and then we have 6 classes of sensation: eye contact, auditory contact, olfactory contact, taste contact, body contact, intellectual contact. Therefore, emphasizing the connection of each link with the 6 senses, our 5 classics plus the intellect, as they think in Hindu and some Eastern tradition in Asia, or in some translation it's called the mind, basically. The sutra ends with the explanation of ignorance, which is not knowing the Four Noble Truths. That's what it means, ignorance, not knowing the Four Noble Truths. The conditioned production describes the continuous process rooted in ignorance that creates an ego personality. What is an ego personality? We already talked in Lakkhana Statma Sutta. It's an Atman, so they're not self. And how this is maintained by desires and attachment. This is the most significant difference between Siddhartha's teachings and the religion born after his death, including the more recent Buddhist school. Using his word, I teach the Dharma as a middle way. I avoid extremes that only bring disappointment and suffering. Anyone who declares that pleasure and pain are self-created, anyone who declares that pleasure and pain are created by others, is deluded. All experiences are dependent on contact, and contact is initially dependent on ignorance. So that is the beginning of develop all the theory by conditional production or dependent origination. As you notice, I didn't read that much from this sutra because it's a very difficult sutra to grasp. I prefer to make into a prose, give it more explanation. This has been the Sutra Pills podcast, and I am Matt Bianca. Thank you to be here and listen to me. Comments are really appreciated. Whatever you want to tell me, just make a comment, even a bad one. Of course, the most important, may you be well, may you be happy,
May you be free from suffering. Bye for now.